All right, let's get right into it. If you're a dog owner, you've definitely heard the warnings about chocolate. But maybe you've also heard a really dangerous question floating around, one that kind of mixes hope with a whole lot of misunderstanding. So today, we're going to tackle that question head on.
So here's the big question, the myth. The idea that maybe, just maybe, if you give your dog tiny little bits of chocolate over time, you can build up some kind of tolerance. Immunize them. It's an interesting thought, right? But is there any truth to it? Let's break down the actual science.
So before we can even begin to answer that immunity question, we need to understand the real problem here. Why exactly is chocolate so bad for dogs? The answer has nothing to do with taste or preference. It's all about pure chemistry.
Okay, meet the two culprits, theobromine and caffeine. Both of these guys are part of a chemical group called methylxanthines. They're found naturally in the cacao beans that make chocolate, and when they get inside a dog's body, they act like incredibly powerful stimulants.
And this is where the real danger becomes crystal clear. A human can process about half the theobromine they eat in just 2 to 3 hours. Our bodies are pretty efficient at it. But a dog's metabolism, it's a completely different machine. It is so incredibly slow that the half-life for this same chemical skyrockets to 17.5 hours. That means this toxin isn't just passing through, it's lingering, building up to more and more dangerous levels over a long time.
So what happens when these stimulants just hang around in their system for that long? Well, they wreak absolute havoc. They crank the nervous system into overdrive. They push the heart to work way too hard. They act as diuretics, which can lead to dangerous dehydration, and on top of all that, they cause horrible GI distress. It's a multi-system assault.
And understanding that science is exactly what lets us bust this myth wide open. The whole idea of immunizing a dog to chocolate comes from a massive misunderstanding of what's really going on inside their body. As you can see from the subtitle here, we are talking about a poison, not an allergy, and those two things are worlds apart.
So here's the crucial difference. An allergy is when your immune system makes a mistake. It overreacts and identifies something harmless as a threat. But poisoning, that's a metabolic failure. It means the body's basic machinery, its internal hardware, simply cannot process the substance. You can't train your liver to do something it's not physically built to do.
And this isn't just a theory, it's a hard fact from the veterinary world. This quote hits the nail on the head. Some people think certain breeds might be immune, but the answer is a hard no. It's a universal vulnerability across all dogs because it's baked right into their core physiology.
Let's just quickly summarize why this immunization idea is so incredibly dangerous. First, it's a metabolic problem, not an immune problem. Second, because of that really long half-life, theobromine builds up. Small doses don't create tolerance, they can stack up to a toxic level. And third, every dog is an individual. Their size, their health, their unique metabolism, it makes any attempt at this a complete gamble. It's a game you just can't win. Okay, so we know the why. Now let's shift gears to the what if. Because accidents can happen, and knowing the signs of chocolate toxicity is one of the most important things any dog owner can possibly learn.
And if you think this is some rare thing, think again. The ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center gets over 100 calls a day just for chocolate toxicity. This is not an exotic problem. It's an everyday emergency happening in homes all across the country.
These are the red flags you have to watch for. It often starts with what you might expect, vomiting and diarrhea. But then it can progress to excessive thirst, restlessness, frantic pacing, a heart that's racing or beating irregularly, and in the most severe cases, muscle tremors and even seizures. These symptoms can pop up anywhere from 2 to 12 hours after they've eaten it.
It's also absolutely critical to know that not all chocolate is created equal. The rule is simple. The darker and more bitter the chocolate, the more the theobromine it contains, and the more dangerous it is. So while milk chocolate is definitely risky, something like baker's chocolate is incredibly potent. We're talking a tiny amount, as little as 1/10 of an ounce per pound of your dog's weight, can be lethal.
So, what if the worst happens? You walk into the kitchen and see a shredded candy wrapper. The first rule is, don't panic. Panic doesn't help. What helps is having a clear, calm plan. Here is your plan, step by step. First, assess. Figure out what kind of chocolate it was and try to guess how much is gone. This information is absolutely vital for the vet. Second, contact your vet or an emergency clinic right away. Don't wait for symptoms. Do not wait and see. Time is critical. And third, call a pet poison control hotline for immediate, expert advice anytime, day or night.
And this is the number you need. I recommend every single pet owner pulls out their phone and saves this number right now. 888-426-4435. That's the ASPCA Poison Control Hotline. They're available 24/7. It can be a literal lifesaver.
So we've looked at the science, busted the myth, gone over the symptoms, and laid out the emergency plan. Let's bring it all home to the one, final, inescapable conclusion. There it is. No tricks, no workarounds, no dangerous immunization experiments. The only responsible and safe strategy is complete avoidance. Period. It means being vigilant about storing chocolate securely and making sure everyone in your home, including visitors, knows the rules.
You know, our dogs rely on us completely to protect them from dangers they can't possibly understand. And when you think about it, what could possibly be a sweeter treat than just making sure they're happy, healthy, and most importantly, safe? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.